育成终生守护心智障碍者，给他们第二个家。请支持育成心智障碍者终生支持计划。
Hi, welcome to English Composition. I'm Michael Chang, and I'm here today with Cher Chen.
好，欢迎大家来到今天的英文作文课啊，我是 Cher。
Today our topic is interviewing a friend, and we will work on writing a short biography of a friend.
好，今天我们要练习的呢是写一篇关于朋友的简短的段落。
All right, let's start by talking about some of the information that you can include in a biography of a friend.
好，我们首先呢，先来看看有哪一些资讯是可以包括在这个段落里面的。
All right, so remember back in Unit 1, we introduced the idea that Western people usually judge you by what you are doing or what you're thinking now, while Asian people usually form an opinion about you or an impression of you when they find out something about your background.
好，我们在单元1里面呢，我们曾经介绍过哦，西方人通常会依照你现在的所作所为来评判你，但是亚洲人呢，通常注意的是你的背景资讯。那他们借由知道你的背景资讯呢，来决定说您是属于哪一类的人。
Right, now sometimes this difference is characterized by calling Western cultures a doing culture, while they call Asian cultures a being culture.
好，那因为这个特色呢，有时候我们是称西方文化是叫做 doing culture， 那对于东方文化，我们则称为 being cultures。
Now, a being culture will focus on your background, and so sentences that give information about a person's hometown, your school, your place of work, these are all different kinds of background information.
好，我们讲到呢 ，being cultures 着重在你的背景资讯哦，包括这个人的家乡啊，他就读的学校或是工作的地点，这些都是属于背景资讯。
Other types of background information are who your parents are, your marital status, your salary, your job, or your political affiliation. This type of information gives your partner the ability to interpret who you are more easily.
好，其他有些资讯呢，像是你的父母，那你的婚姻状况、你的收入、你的工作，甚至是你的政治倾向，这些资讯呢，都能够让你的伙伴更容易去解读你所说的话。
But remember, as we said in Unit 1, that it's not polite to ask a person from a Western country questions about salary, marital status, politics, or religion.
好，但是请记得呢，在单元1里面，我们曾经说过哦，你如果问西方人一些有关于薪水、婚姻状况、政治或是宗教的问题，都是很不礼貌的。
So let's take a look at the skit again from Unit 1.
好，我们再看一下 Unit 1的这个短句哦，让我们来复习一下。
Hey, would you like a glass of wine?
Oh, okay.
I'm Robert.
Oh, Robert, nice to meet you. I'm Sherry.
Hey, Sherry, are you a friend of Teresa's?
Yes, we went to school together.
Oh, really? Where did you go to school?
We went to NCCU. Are you a friend of Teresa's too?
No, I'm a friend of Joe's.
I see. What do you do?
I work for a Citibank.
You work for a bank?
Yeah.
Oh, how much money do you earn?
I get paid okay.
Oh, I'm sure you do. So, are you married?
No. So, how old are you?
I'm pretty young. So, are you blue or green?
Well, do you believe in Jesus? I think I should be going.
Yeah, I think you should be going.
Bye.
Bye.
All right, so you can see from the skit that sometimes if you ask questions that are too personal or cover too much of this very personal information, it can make a person feel very uncomfortable.
好，你可以发现呢，如果你问出来的问题是关于太过于个人的问题哦，或者是会影响到太多关于个人的一些资讯的话，其实是非常的不礼貌的。
Now, since people from Asian countries always want to find background information, this background information helps them to understand who you are. Sometimes we say that Asian cultures are high context cultures.
好，我们会发现呢，在亚洲文化里面呢，他们都希望能够得到更多的背景资讯，好来帮助我们了解这个谈话的对象。所以我们常常说呢，亚洲文化是一个高度着重背景的文化哦。
And so this means that if somebody finds out some background information, such as what school you come from, they don't need to know exactly everything that you're thinking because they can predict what you're like based upon this background information.
好，这也代表说呢，如果有一个人问你说你从哪个学校来的呢？这个答案并不代表什么哦，因为他其实会用他对于你所了解的这个背景资讯呢，来理解你接下来所说的任何的话。
And then we also see that in these kinds of high context cultures, that sometimes people won't really ask you or they won't really tell you exactly what they want because you should be able to guess from the situation or guess from the context what they want.
好，那这也是告诉我们说呢，当在这种状况下的时候呢，其实这个谈话的答案并不是最重要的哦，重要的是你必须要能够去猜测对方的心意。
Right, so now let's talk about doing cultures. Doing cultures focus on your thoughts and your activities.
好，我们再来谈谈所谓的 doing cultures。doing cultures 注意的是你的想法哦，还有你在做什么。
And so sentences about your hobbies, your likes, your dislikes, your plans, these all share information about what a person is doing.
好，那其实像一些句子哦，讲到个人的习惯啊、爱好或是计划等等，这些都传达了这个人是在做什么的讯息。
And so now, because background information is not so important in Western cultures, it can be difficult to know what a person's opinions are unless you talk to them directly.
好，因为背景资讯呢，在西方文化中并不是这么的重要哦，所以除非是面对面的与对方交谈，否则要推测一个人的想法并不是那么容易。
And so, therefore, we say that Western cultures are usually low context.
好，所以呢，我们常常说西方文化是一个比较不重视背景资讯的一个文化。
Right, so this means that we're not expected to interpret a person's words based upon the context of his or her background, or that the context of the conversation is not as important as it is in an Asian culture.
好，那这也代表着说呢，我们无法根据一个人的背景资讯来解读他说的话，而且呢，我们这谈话的这个情境呢，并没有像在亚洲文化之中那么重要。
And so this means that people from Western cultures are much more likely to state directly what they mean instead of expecting you to guess what they mean.
好，这也意味着呢，西方人比较可能会直接说出他们心里面的想要表达的意思，而不是期待听者能够来了解他们的心意。
And so now the consequence for writing is that when you write to someone from a Western culture, or if you write in English, you should get to your point quickly. You should state what you want and you should state it directly, and you shouldn't expect your readers to guess what you really want or guess what you mean.
好，这也就是说呢，当你用英文来写信给这西方人的时候呢，你应该要直接的切入重点，而不是期待你的读者能够去猜测你的心意。
Right, what we're going to do now is we're going to get ready for our writing model section of our lesson.
好，我们接下来要来看看我们的写作范例哦。
Hi, my name is Jason Wu.
Hi, nice to meet you. My name is Anna Chang. What do you do, Jason?
I'm a student at National Taipei College of Business.
I see. What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in international trade.
That's great. What do you want to do after you graduate?
I want to work for a high-tech company. So what do you do, Anna?
Oh, I'm a salesperson for Acme Insurance.
Okay, how long have you worked for Acme?
I have worked for Acme for 6 years.
I see. So where are you from, Anna?
Oh, I'm from Taichung, but I live in Taipei. How about you, Jason?
I'm from Thailand, but I want to find a job in Taipei after I graduate.
Oh, what kind of things do you like to do, Jason?
I like photography and I like bicycling.
Oh, those are nice hobbies.
Yes, I'm going to ride my bicycle around Taiwan this summer. I plan to take lots of pictures. So, what do you like to do, Anna?
Oh, I like to go to the movies. I usually go to the movies on Friday night.
What else do you do on weekends?
I like to spend my Sunday afternoons in coffee shops or bookstores.
I see. Is there anything else you like to do?
Well, my favorite activity is traveling.
Traveling, that's a very interesting thing to do. So, where have you been?
I've been to Europe and America. I went to Hawaii last spring, for example, and I plan to go to London next year.
I'm sure you'll have a good time in London. So, nice to meet you, Anna.
Nice to meet you too, Jason.
We're going to take a little bit of a break now. When we come back, we'll take what we learned in that conversation and we'll write about it.
好，我们现在休息一下，等一下回来呢，我们会把我们刚刚看的这段短句里面得到的资讯来写成句子。
Okay, let's see what Jason and Anna learned about each other during their conversation.
好，我们来看看 Jason 跟 Anna 从彼此的对话中得到了哪一些讯息。
What do you do, Jason?
I'm a student at National Taipei College of Business.
I see. What are you majoring in?
I'm majoring in international trade.
That's great. What do you want to do after you graduate?
I want to work for a high-tech company.
All right, so first we learned some information about Jason.
好，首先呢，我们知道了一些关于 Jason 的资讯哦。
So we learned that Jason is a student at National Taipei College of Business.
好，我们知道说 Jason 是台北商业技术学院的学生哦。
We also learned that Jason is majoring in international trade.
好，我们也知道呢，他是主修国际贸易。
And we learned that Jason wants to work for a high-tech company after he graduates.
我们也知道呢 ，Jason 他毕业后希望能够在高科技公司任职。
And so this information about Jason, about where Jason goes to school, this is being information.
And the fact that he's majoring in international trade is more being information.
And then the fact that he wants to work at a high-tech company is doing information because it focuses on what he's thinking about or what he's planning for the future.
好，我们来看一下刚刚这些对话哦。我们发现呢，关于 Jason 的资讯呢，是属于 being culture。那在里头提到呢，他主修国际贸易这件事呢，也是属于 being culture 的一部分。那关于他毕业后的计划哦，想要在高科技公司任职这件事情，则是属于 doing cultures， 因为这是着重于他对于未来的计划。
Now let's review what we learned about Anna in this conversation.
好，我们接下来来看看我们得到关于 Anna 的一些资讯。
Do Anna?
Oh, I'm a salesperson for Acme Insurance.
Okay, how long have you worked for Acme?
I have worked for Acme for 6 years.
I see. So, where are you from, Anna?
Oh, I'm from Taichung, but I live in Taipei.
All right, so here we learned some information about Anna. We learned that Anna is a salesperson for Acme Insurance.
好，我们知道呢，这个 Anna 她是在 Acme Insurance 里面担任销售员。
And also, she's worked for Acme for 6 years.
她已经为 Acme 工作了6年了。
And she's from Taichung.
她是从台中来的。
And we also learned that Anna lives in Taipei now.
我们也知道她现在是住在台北。
And we can see that all of this is being information.
好，我们会发现呢，刚刚我们提到这些资讯都是属于 being cultures。
All right, now next we're going to learn a little bit more about Jason.
好，接下来呢，我们想要看看更多关于 Jason 的一些资讯哦。
How about you, Jason?
I'm from Thailand, but I want to find a job in Taipei after I graduate.
Oh, what kind of things do you like to do, Jason?
I like photography and I like bicycling.
Oh, those are nice hobbies.
Yes, I'm going to ride my bicycle around Taiwan this summer.
All right, so now let's look at what we learn about Jason.
好，我们来看看我们知道了什么关于 Jason 的事情哦。
First, we learned that Jason is from Tainan.
好，首先我们知道 Jason 是从台南来的。
We also learned that Jason wants to live in Taipei after he graduates.
我们也知道说 Jason 希望能够住在台北哦，毕业之后能够住在台北。
Jason likes photography.
好，我们知道 Jason 喜欢拍照哦。
Jason likes bicycling.
哦 ，Jason 也喜欢这个骑脚踏车。
And then he is going to ride his bicycle around Taiwan.
哦，他接下来呢要去骑脚踏车环岛哦。
All right, so now let's take this information and put it into our being and doing chart.
好，我们现在把这些资讯放到我们这个 being doing 的这个表格之中。
And so we can see that Jason is from Tainan. This is being information.
Okay, and we found that wants to live in Taipei after graduation. It's doing information.
And his hobbies are bicycling, photography. These are doing information.
And his plan to ride around Taiwan is also doing information. 好，我们在这里我们发现呢，这些资讯呢，我们可以把它归类为 being 跟 doing 的 information。那只有 Jason is from Tainan 是属于 being information， 那其他都是属于 doing information。
Okay, now finally we're going to learn a little bit more about Anna.
好，最后呢，我们再来多看一点关于 Anna 的消息。
So, what do you like to do, Anna?
Oh, I like to go to the movies. I usually go to the movies on Friday night.
What else do you do on weekends?
I like to spend my Sunday afternoons in coffee shops or bookstores.
I see. Is there anything else you like to do?
Well, my favorite activity is traveling.
Traveling, that's a very interesting thing to do. So, where have you been?
I've been to Europe and America. I went to Hawaii last spring, for example, and I plan to go to London next year.
All right, so now let's take a look at what we learned about Anna.
好，我们来看看我们到底知道了 Anna 的什么资讯呢？
So we learned that Anna likes to go to the movies.
好，我们知道 Anna 喜欢去看电影。
And she usually goes to movies on Friday nights.
好，她通常是在星期五的晚上呢去看电影。
She likes to go to bookstores or coffee shops on Sunday afternoon.
在星期天的下午呢，她喜欢去书店或是去咖啡店。
She likes to travel.
她喜欢旅游。
She has been to Hawaii.
她曾经去过夏威夷。
And the last piece of information is she wants to go to London.
最后一个消息是呢，她想要去伦敦。
And if we take a look at this information, all of this is doing information.
我们会发现呢，刚刚所说的这些资讯都是属于 doing information。
Now, if we take all this information and we want to start to write about it, we can form the following short biographies about Anna and Jason.
好，根据我们刚刚得到的一些资讯呢，我们可以写出以下的段落来描述 Anna 跟 Jason。
So let's read the writing models together now. Right, it begins, my partner is Anna Zhang.
好，我的伙伴是安娜。
Anna is a salesperson for Acme Insurance.
Anna 是 Acme Insurance 的销售员。
She has worked for Acme for 6 years.
她已经为 Acme 工作了6年了。
Anna is from Taichung, but she lives in Taipei now.
Anna 是从台中来的，但是她现在住在台北。
Anna likes to go to the movies on Friday night, and she likes to spend Sunday afternoon in coffee shops or bookstores.
好 ，Anna 呢喜欢在星期五的晚上去看电影，而星期天的下午呢，她喜欢把时间呢花费在咖啡店以及书店。
Anna's favorite activity is traveling.
Anna 最喜欢的活动呢是旅游。
She has been to Europe and America.
她曾经去过欧洲以及美国。
She went to Hawaii last spring.
去年春天，她去过夏威夷。
She wants to go to London next year.
明年，她希望能够去伦敦。
Now let's take a look at the passage about Jason.
好，我们来看看关于 Jason 的这个段落。
My partner is Jason Wu.
好，我的伙伴呢是 Jason Wu。
Jason is a student at National Taipei College of Business, and he is majoring in international trade.
好 ，Jason 是台北商业技术学院的学生，他的主修是国际贸易。
Jason wants to work for a high-tech company in the future.
Jason 在毕业后呢，希望能够为高科技公司工作。
Jason is originally from Tainan, but he wants to find a job in Taipei.
Jason 是从台南来的，但是他希望能够在台北找到工作。
Jason likes photography and bicycling, so he is going to ride his bicycle around Taiwan this summer.
Jason 喜欢摄影以及骑脚踏车，所以在这个暑假呢，他希望能够骑脚踏车环岛。
He plans to take many pictures.
他计划要照很多的相片。
All right, let's take a little bit of a break right now, and when we come back, we will analyze the grammar of these passages more carefully.
好，我们现在先休息一下，待会回来我们再仔细的来看这些段落里面的文法。
Let's take a look at some of our grammar now in our grammar focus section.
好，接下来我们来看一下在文法重点这个部分的一些文法。
Okay, first let's take a look at 2 sentences about Anna.
好，我们首先来看看呢2句关于 Anna 的句子。
Our first sentence is, she has worked for Acme for 6 years.
好，第一个句子，她已经为 Acme 工作了6年。
And our second sentence is, she has been to Europe and America.
第二个句子，她曾经去过欧洲以及美国。
All right, so now both of these sentences use the present perfect tense.
好，这2个句子呢都使用现在完成式。
So the present perfect tense is used when you want to relate an event that happened in the past to something in the present time.
好，现在完成式呢是用在当你想要把以前发生的事情与现在的情况做连结的时候。
All right, so let's take a look at this sentence. She has worked for Acme for 6 years.
好，我们来看一下现在这个句子哦，她已经为 Acme 工作了6年了。
All right, so we use the present perfect tense to write about something that Anna started to do in the past and is still doing at the present time.
好，我们来看看这个地方呢，我们用现在完成式呢来表示说 ，Anna 从6年前开始为 Acme 工作啊，一直工作到现在。
And so we can see that Anna started working for Acme 6 years ago, and she's still working there now. So there's a connection from the past 6 years ago to the present right now.
好，我们可以发现呢 ，Anna 呢，她已经为 Acme 工作了6年，从6年前开始一直到现在啊。我们知道这是一连串的一个时间哦。
So to write about this entire period of time, we use the present perfect tense.
好，为了要描述这6年的时光呢，我们会使用现在完成式。
All right, now sometimes we use the present perfect tense to write about something that happened at an indefinite time in the past.
好，有些时候呢，我们会使用现在完成式来描述一件在过去一个不确定的时间点发生的事情。
And so, for example, in the sentence, she has been to Europe and America, we don't know when Anna traveled to Europe or America.
好，举例来说呢，在这个句子啊，关于 Anna 曾经去过欧洲以及美国的句子里面，我们并不清楚她真正去的时间是什么时候。
And so these trips happen at some point in Anna's life, but we don't know exactly what that point is.
好，我们知道呢，这个旅程是发生在 Anna 生命中的某一个时间点哦，但我们并不确定那个确定的时间点。
And so when we're using the present perfect tense here, this just means that sometime during Anna's life, she traveled to Europe and America.
好，我们这里会使用这个完成式，是因为我们知道它是在 Anna 的生命中的某一段时间。
And also we know that Anna's life is not over yet, so she can continue to take more trips. And so we're using the present perfect tense in this sentence.
好，我们也知道呢，这个因为 Anna 的生命尚未结束哦，她还可以继续的去旅行，所以呢，我们会使用现在完成式。
All right, let's take a look at another sentence that uses the past tense.
好，我们来看一下另外一个句子是使用过去式的。
All right, we have a sentence here. She went to Hawaii last spring.
好，我们来看一下这个句子，她在去年春天去了夏威夷。
All right, so we're using the past tense in this sentence because this is indicating something, an event that happened at a specific time in the past.
好，在这个句子里面呢，我们会使用过去式哦，是因为这个时间点我们已经非常确定是过去的一个时间。
And so we can see in this sentence there's a specific point in the past. It says last spring. This is some point in time that happened in the past and it's completely over.
好，那我们在这个句子中呢，我们知道事情发生的特定时间呢是去年春天，这是一个过去的时间，而且已经完成了。
And so since last spring is a time, it's in the past, it's completely over, we have to use the past tense here.
好，既然这个时间点是指的是过去的一个时间，所以我们必须要使用过去式来写它。
All right, in the next sentence, we're going to use a word that shows the desire to do something in the future.
好，那在接下来这个句子里面呢，我们要用一个字来表示未来想要做某件事情的渴望。
So our sentence is, she wants to go to London next year.
好，这个句子是他想要去伦敦哦。
And so the word want in this sentence is a word that's commonly used to show future desire.
好，望这个字呢，通常被用来表示对于未来计划的渴望。
All right, let's take a look at some other words that we can use to show future desire or our intention to do something in the future.
好，我们来看一下有哪一些字可以用来表示对于未来的计划一个憧憬哦。
All right, and you can find these words on page 44 of your textbook.
你可以找到以下这些资讯呢，在课本的第44页。
Our first word is plan to plus a verb.
好，第一个字是计划要做什么。
All right, another word we can use is want to.
好，第二个字是希望想要做什么。
All right, desire is similar to want to, it's stronger though.
好 ，desire 这个字跟 want to 的意思是很类似的，只是它的意思又比 want 更强烈哦。
Okay, and intend to is another word you can use. Intend to is similar to the word plan to.
好 ，intend to 这个字呢，跟 plan to 的字是意思非常相似哦。
All right, the next word that we can see is expect to.
好，下面另外一个字叫做 expect to， 是你预期、你期望要做什么。
Okay, we can also use would like to.
好，另外一个用法是 would like to，
look forward to.
你也可以用 look forward to。
And then another word we can use is anticipate. If we use anticipate, we have to use the verb and the ing form of the verb.
好，另外一个意思相同的字呢是 anticipate， 但是你使用 anticipate 的时候呢，请注意后面的动词要用动名词。
All right, let's take a look at one more sentence that shows an action that Jason is going to do in the future. This is a sentence, he is going to ride his bicycle around Taiwan this summer.
好，我们接下来来看看另外一个关于 Jason 未来想做的事情的句子哦。这句子是说，他接下来的这个夏天呢，他想要骑车环岛。
All right, this sentence uses be going to plus a verb to show future time. We can also use will to show future time.
好，在这个句子里面呢，它用 be going to 加上动词来表示未来的时间哦。那我们也可以使用 will 这个字来表示未来时间。
And then we have this sentence, he will ride his bicycle around Taiwan this summer.
好，如果我们把 be going to 换成 will 的话，我们就会得到接下来这个句子。
And so when you're speaking, in spoken English, be going to and a verb and will are both commonly used, but will is about 50% more common than be going to.
好，那在我们的口语中呢 ，be going to 跟 will 都时常被使用哦，但是 will 使用的次数呢，又比 be going to 的还要多出50%。
However, if you're writing, will is much more common. This is probably true for a number of reasons.
好，那在你在书写的状况下呢 ，will 使用的频率又特别的高哦。那可能是因为以下的几个原因。
All right, so the first reason is that will is a little bit more formal sounding. And since writing is usually more formal than speaking, it's often more common to use will when you're writing.
好，第一个原因是因为呢 ，will 这个字听起来是比较正式，而且比较有礼貌。那既然我们写作是必须要比口语来的正式哦，那 will 在很多种类型的这个文体之中呢，都是一个比较合适的选择。
And then our second reason is will is easier to write. It's shorter and the grammar is easier, so a lot of writing uses will.
好，第二个原因是因为呢 ，will 这个字写起来比较简短哦，所以也不需要特别去改变这个动词的形式哦，所以 will 呢在很多的写作上面是经常被使用的。
All right, let's talk about our homework now. So for your homework, you should review the material in the unit, and then you should go do the writing activity.
好，我们先来看一下我们的回家作业哦。回家作业的部分呢，你应该要先把我们的内容再看过一遍，那必须要把这个文法练习啊及写作练习的部分再做一次。
And so for the writing activity, talk to a friend and then write a short biography.
好，那在写作练习的部分呢，你应该要先去面谈一位朋友，然后写一个简短的段落。
Thanks for joining us this week for English Composition. We'll see you again next week.
好，谢谢各位的参加哦，我们下礼拜再见。